Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Dip Yanko.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Zihar Vasho. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll break down the upcoming matchups happening tomorrow in the PBA Philippine Cup quarterfinals.
And we'll assemble some of the stars in the Invitational Conference for PVL Team of the Week. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game.
The stage is set for the Philippine Cup showdown between the TNT Tropang Liga and Converge Fiber Xers. And joining us tonight to break down their matchup tomorrow is PBA analyst, Coach Charles Tew. Charles, good evening and welcome to the game.
Hello guys, thanks for having me.
All right, so we are gonna be doing the first day of the quarterfinals tomorrow, and tomorrow it will be TNT and Converge. And what makes this matchup exciting? I know in their previous face-to-face match, talagang dikit yung laban.
Well, as you mentioned, that game was a thrilling game. I thought Converge was on the brink of upsetting TNT until Jason Castro happened and saved TNT at the end. But TNT is a very good rebounding team. They're number one in the league, and Converge, I feel, is also a very good rebounding team. So that battle, that physicality down low, I think it's a good matchup. Converge has a lot of players chipping in, while TNT has, I guess, their solid core is still there from that championship team last year. So, obviously TNT will still be the favorites, but I'm anticipating at least a tough fight from Converge.
Well, you mentioned Coach Charles, the key players for both teams. The core is right there. But let's zone in on one player for the TNT Tropang Liga, Mikey Williams. Of course, we know Mikey missed a couple of games sa start ng Philippine Cup, but he is back and his impact, of course, is very big. Talk about how the Converge Fiber Xers can possibly stop ito si Mikey Williams.
Well, that's going to be tough. I think that's really the biggest advantage of TNT right now in that point guard position. Obviously, Converge has a guy like Maverick Ahanisi, who's a solid player. He's been playing well also. And then they have Alex Stockton, who's kind of making a name for himself as a physical defensive stopper. Those probably are the two guys who best stand a chance to try and slow down Mikey. But it's tough to slow down Mikey. If I'm not mistaken, he is the number one scorer in the league. He's averaging over 20 points, shooting close to 40% from three. He's looking as good as ever, and I know he missed the start of this season, but they need him badly, and he has quickly emerged again as the best player of TNT right now.
All right, that's right. He is the top scorer in the league right now, and right behind him is his teammate RR Pogoy. But I want to go back to Mikey Williams. You said it will be difficult to contain him, but what do you think will contain him?
Oh, I think they really have to trap him on ball screens. He handles the ball a lot. The offense of TNT is really geared towards him. So they're going to have to give him different looks, try to get the ball out of his hands, find a way to stop his three-point shots, especially in transition. Because, you've seen the highlights. This guy makes the toughest shots, those little dribble step backs. He's just a talent. He's a handful, and he can also drive, create for his teammates. So they have to play him physical, really. Try to get under his skin, get him frustrated a bit. And I think that may be the only way to slow down Mikey Williams.
Okay, let's balance things out a bit. Let's talk about the Converge Fiber Xers, their first season as a franchise in the PBA, and they made it to the playoffs. How can Converge get a win and extend this one to game number 2? I mean, we know that they don't have key players or a solid core like TNT, pero they have a lot of players that can come off the bench and then spark for their team.
Well, obviously, Jeron Teng, he is their leading scorer. He hasn't played a lot this conference too, but with him, the key with Converge is they have so many different guys stepping up. So I think it's going to take a total team effort. I mean, Maverick Ahanisi is averaging 10 points per game. But you can look at the lineup. Everybody else, Stratter has 9, Arani has 8, Morel has 7, Hill has 7, Di Gregorio 7, and then you have Ilagan, Ambohot, Bulanadi, Brown. Like, every game, iba-iba eh. You really don't know who's going to step up with them. You might Kevin Lacalpen. Ang lalim ng team nila. So I think that's one thing they have to their advantage. They have different guys who Coach Jeff can call upon to maybe chip in kahit pa konti-konti. And, their minutes are also very spread out. So maybe their depth in that sense na, they have a few lineups that can really go at it against TNT might be able to give them a chance.
What do you think will be the key for Converge and able to at least have a good match in tomorrow's match?
Well, you can't stop everything in basketball. You have to pick something to give up. I think with TNT right now, you mentioned it also, ZC. Apart from Mikey Williams, you also have R.R. Pogoy. Then one guy I still think is playing great basketball is Jason Castro. So maybe you have to find a way to shut down the guards and live. If it's Boy Era, I'm going to try to beat you. Live with maybe Troy Rosario, who was hurt too. Obviously, those two guys are also superstars, and they both average double digits. They're great players in their own rights, but I feel it's really the guards still of TNT that are really going to be the ones to set the tone. So, gotta find a way to stop those three players that I mentioned.
There could be nothing to lose for the Converge Fiber Xers, but again, it's their first playoffs as a franchise. What do we expect in the game tomorrow between TNT and Converge? Paano ba yung magiging laro? Will it be a lot of three-pointers, fast-paced, or more sets for these teams?
Well, TNT always likes to play fast. I think if you're Converge, you can't really play at the pace of TNT. Maybe try to slow things down, make it a bit more rugged. You've got bigs like Justin Aranya who also like to post up together with Abu Tratter. Get it physical, make it an ugly game versus TNT. Actually, their recipe was, and the first time they met was pretty good naman. I felt they should have won that game pa nga. So, they know what it takes. They just have to settle down, huwag masyado manggigil. They still have a young player. Medyo iba pa rin yung samahan ng TNT because apart from Mikey Williams, those guys have been playing together for so long. Their experience is there. And syempre, they're all veterans. So that's really the challenge. Maybe the experience of TNT will be a big factor. But hopefully for Converge, they can pull through and follow the coach's game plan.
All right, we know that Mikey Williams and the rest of his team has twice to beat advantage in the quarterfinal round. But what do you want to see in this next round in the PBA?
Ooh, well, since I'm with Meralco, I would love every playoff series to go as long as they can, right?
Yeah,
Maybe some upsets and bias sometime, hopefully. But as a fan, you always want to see a do or die game. So it'd be nice to see any upsets. Underdogs. We all love the underdogs. So it would be nice if Converge can upset TNT. Although,
Why not?
they're our sister team. Pala, the joke lang. But kidding aside, it's a rivalry, right? Converge versus TNT, same companies, which makes it more fun for fans. It's nice to have something else to play for. But I still see TNT really coming out on top. It's going to be hard to beat a team like that. They're starting to pick things up again. Of course, the only drawback for TNT is they had a really long layoff. They finished their elimination round, so Coach Chot could go be with the Gilas team, so Boy Eram could play. So that could be something working against them. But on the flip side, it could also mean that they're fresh. So I think we'll have to wait tomorrow to see which one of the two happens.
We'll look forward to that game tomorrow between TNT and Converge. But after the break, we'll take a look at the matchup between San Miguel and Blackwater as we continue the conversation still with Coach Charles Q. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
welcome back to the game. Still with us is Coach Charles Tew, who will preview the second matchup of tomorrow's game, the San Miguel Beermen versus the Blackwater Bossing. Charles, thank you for staying for another body here. Tomorrow naman, let's talk about number 1 versus number 8. I know, again, twice to beat advantage, number 1 ang ating Beermen. But if we look at the history, their previous matchup, close game naman tong dalawang koponan.
Yeah, same thing. Blackwater played them really well. The game went into overtime. They had their chances in that game. The only thing that's really different right now is that Blackwater is in a bit of a funk. They've lost 5 straight, if I'm not mistaken. Since the 2 game winners of Basse, where he goes putting people to sleep, I don't think they've won a game anymore. So they got to figure things out right now. And it's tough because San Miguel, they slowed down a bit. Also, they had to deal with a lot of COVID or health and safety protocol issues with their team, with their coaching staff. But now, after a bit of a break, I think they should probably be full force again, except for maybe Chris Ross, who I also hear is nearing a return. So now it's tough. The San Miguel team is still good. I mean, they're the best scoring team in the league, and that's really what Blackwater has to figure out how to try to slow them down.
Okay, earlier we talked about TNT and we zoned in on Mikey Williams, Coach Charles. Ngayon naman, for the Beermen, how does one contain a Junmar Fajardo? I say contain because you really can't stop a JMF.
Yeah, that's the problem. I still think all roads to the championship for San Miguel will go through Junmar Fajardo. I mean, he is the biggest game changer still, the difference maker in the whole PBA, and he looks as good as ever. It's tough, man. You can't guard him one-on-one, and then you double team him like Terra Firma did. He shows that he can pass. He had 9 assists in that game. He's averaging 18 and almost 14 rebounds a game with 3.5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He's doing it all, right? So you have to find a way to double team him, try to make it hard for him to receive the ball, and on the other end, keep going at him, keep attacking Junmar, making him work on defense, because that's the only way. You gotta try to tire him out and maybe hope he gets into foul trouble too.
And we saw that how he played all of the 11 games. So talagang healthy pa tong si Junmar. But in all the years that he played for or in the PBA, ano sa tingin mo yung point of weakness na pwedeng i-take advantage ng Blackwater bukas?
Offensively, wala. Because he will kill you in any ways. His outside shot looks pretty good too. His touch is nice, but I still really think you have to attack him. And throughout the years, whenever they'd go up against rain or shine, all Coach Yang would do was keep running him off high ball screens, and that's really the only way. You gotta try to attack him, bring him out of his comfort zone, which is protecting the paint, make him defend the quicker guards. But of course, San Miguel's also clever. They've gotten used to it. They start going to 2-3 zones and try to find ways to kind of hide him a bit on defense. They have their schemes also, but you just got to make Junmar work. That's the only knock on this game, maybe, that he still is, relatively slow, you can say, because he is 6'10", and I don't even know what he weighs, but he's a big boy.
Alright, lipat naman tayo sa Blackwater Bossing. Nabanggit mo, Coach Charles, of course. It's nice to see an underdog win every now and then, but this is a team that is a mix of veterans and rookies, and particularly, I'm talking about JV Casio and Ato Olar. How can this team that went through a long losing streak get a win here in the playoffs?
Well, first, si Ato Olar, I think he surprised a lot of people sa PBA with how he played. Pero, syempre, to me, nakalaban na namin yan sa NCAA before pa. We've seen him in the other leagues. And man, this kid could really play. And then he developed his outside shot so much. That was maybe the only thing missing. He still is an undersized big, pero grabe, he's physical. Lakas ng kamay niya. He has long arms. His hands are great catching the ball. He's really got a good feel for the game. So, he's a solid player. But of course, as you produce, teams start to prepare for you a little bit more. So, medyo bumaba na rin yung numbers niya. Kind of in a funk. I know he was interviewed also where he said he has to do a better job adjusting to how teams are playing him. So, he's a big piece. But of course, I still go with my guy, JV Casio. I'm a little bit biased. I'm a big JV fan with the years we worked together. But I feel he's somehow, rejuvenated himself. I credit the coaching staff, Coach Ariel of Blackwater. They've done a good job to put him in the right positions. And JV's probably, arguably, amongst the smartest players in the whole PBA. He's so effective. You can't make mistakes on him defensively. He won't blow you away with explosiveness and that, but he's just so smart and still so efficient. I said Mikey Williams was 36% from the three. This guy's at 38%. He's always there for the big shots. He'll make good decisions, and he just knows how to play basketball, and that's why he's still effective despite him getting up there also in age.
That's right. And we saw earlier his statistics: 12.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.3 steals. And beyond the numbers, beyond the statistics, how crucial is his role for Blackwater?
No, his leadership is really impressive. I think he brings the guy together. He glues the team. He's really a leader, very unselfish. Also, you're not going to see him force shots, and then when you need someone to hit the clutch shots, you can always rely on JB Castro. I know Baser has hit their 2 game winners, but you look at the other plays, even before those game winners, the other games, JB is also always there, making big plays for Blackwater, whether it's passing or shooting from the outside whenever they need it. So I really think JB is probably the biggest piece right now for Blackwater.
All right, playoffs, as we all know, is very much exciting. We asked you earlier, Coach Charles, what do you expect between TNT and Converge? How about for the second game, San Miguel versus Blackwater? What can we expect in that matchup tomorrow?
That's tough. Blackwater played really well to start this conference. Then again, they're in a bit of a funk right now, but I think it's going to be tough for them to pull off the upset against San Miguel twice. Once will be hard, but 2 times much harder. I still think San Miguel will eventually find their way back to the semifinals.
All right, so we got you the previews of the exciting matchups for tomorrow. Thank you for joining us tonight, Coach Charles.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you guys.
All right, and after the break, we'll find out who made it to our lineup for PVL Team of the Week. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. It's time for us to put together some athletes who stood out in the past week of PVL action. And joining us today is our volleyball analyst, Tita Mo, Tita Ko, Tita nating lahat, Tita Mosey Ravena for the PVL Team of the Week. Hi, Tita Mos. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. So ako, I'll be acting as the mediator dahil kayo yung volleyball experts dito. We're gonna be talking about the PVL Team of the Week, and just to emphasize, this is not an official list from the PVL, but since galing naman ito kay Z Hervasio at Mosey Ravena, might as well, di ba, make it official kasi maganda naman yung picks nila. Okay, unahin na natin to discuss our list. One of the players para kay Mosey Ravena is Bang Pineda for the libero position.
Philippines so well, hindi lang sa isang game, no? Actually, nagiging very consistent, especially helping her team into winning games. And well, si Bang, alam naman natin, very experienced player na si Bang. So, alam niya na kung paano siyang makakatulong sa team. And true enough, talaga naman, ang laking help.
How about you for Z? Ang tingin mo kay Bang Pineda? She's
Yeah.
also part of your list eh, as a
Yes,
libero.
that's right. So talaga nagtugma kami ni Tita Mosey dito. And I just wanted to highlight how much growth she had.
Yeah.
She has been doing for her spot ngayon. Alam natin, Bang Pineda has been an outside hitter. And when she joined the Petrogas Angels, she was given the task to be their libero.
Yeah.
And what a way to embrace that role.
Yeah, and what about someone who's emerging para sa PLDT high-speed hitters, a team also that's finding its way to the top of the
Correct.
team standings. Are we surprised? Pero ito nga, yung leader na to, para sa team na to, si Jules Samonte.
Me? First, see?
Sige, go ahead.
Go
Jules.
ahead.
Well, okay, so si Jules Samonte, obviously, we're just too happy. I'm sure si Z, syempre, is coming from Ateneo. So, na you see her playing like this, diba? Sometimes it's also nice when you go out of that Ateneo environment, diba?
Right.
Tapos, naman nagpo-flourish to some other team, ganyan. It's so nice to see that. And I'm just too happy for Jules that she's playing this way and has been and becoming consistent with her scores, diba? With her game, yung percentage na. Yun nga, I'm just very happy to see her playing this way.
That's right, and I feel the same way, Tita Mos. As in, parang very joyful to see someone who we've been watching since their college career and now in the professional levels. And for her to find a good environment, a good family, to have that growth na talagang ngayon you see her starting for PLDT and di lang nagsa-start, talagang nagpo-perform pa. And you're right, I like that, how these girls that we put on our list has been consistent.
Yeah.
Kasi that's why it's such a joy to watch these girls performing at this point in the PVL conference.
Right. Ito gusto ko gawing last para save the best for last. Pero since nandito na siya, Tots Carlos, who was the MVP in the last Open Conference, part siya ng list ni Z. Go ahead, Z. Talk about
That's
Tots
right.
Carlos.
I just wanted to mention her statistics.
Yeah.
Crazy. Number 6 in serving, number 2 in spiking, number 1
Wow.
in scoring. Yun lang naman. And as we see her statistics in their last game versus Chocomucho, 25 points lang naman ang ipinuntos ni Tots. And same way as we talked about Bang Pineda and Jules, parang na-embrace na rin niya yung role as the first opposite hitter for Creamline Cool Smashers. I think she really took advantage of that opportunity in the last conference. And now, outside hitter, tinransfer sa opposite, talagang she is thriving in that position. And it's cool kasi usually yung mga opposites, parang all they do, well, their job is really to just, serve and hit. But to see her all over the floor also and on the net playing defense, it's wonderful to see that thing.
Right. Is there anything left to say about Tots Carlos, Mosey?
Sinabi ni Easy and her numbers go to everything naman.
Yeah.
So, well, yun lang. Again, the growth naman of Tots, di ba? From her collegiate years, tapos to the professional level. Kahit siguro siya nabigla bakit ganyan na siya kagaling? But it's all hard work, obviously.
Right.
And with the support of our teammates rin. And finding yung katulad na sabi ni Z kanina, no? The family or the home, nandun talaga siya perfectly fit.
Okay, now we can move on to the next one, yung position na setter. Let's talk about Jel Cayuna of the Signal HD Spikers. Z, what can we tell about Jel na alam natin din, sobrang nag-improve.
Yes.
Last conference was the best setter and dinadala pa rin niya yun in this invitational conference.
I think it's a good thing to see how Jel also is embracing that potential and that leadership role for Signal HD Spikers. Nakita natin last conference, yun nga, you mentioned, she got the Best Setter Award. And now, parang the same, two in the same theme itong sa team niya na parang full steam ahead.
Yeah.
As in, walang preno. Talagang, ito na, babawi na talaga sila this conference.
Hindi na alam, naglaro sila. Baka undefeated pa rin sila, di ba? Baka Tita
Baka
Mosey
lang.
knows what happened sa game na yun. But can we discuss more about Jel Cayuna, Mosey?
Well, si Jel, again, highly improved setter. And you want her to improve. Why? Kasi alam mong national team material.
Yes.
Kasi malaki siya na siya matangkad. Magaling timing sa block. And obviously, yung timing rin niya when it comes to setting. May ano rin, di ba, Z? May konting
Yes.
ano rin pagdating sa timing. And again, maybe yung leadership, yan ang natutunan niya along the way. But, you like setters who are tall. And kasi obviously, hindi sila weakness pagdating sa blocking eh. So, laking advantage talaga. And si Jel also. Di ba dati parang very timid, very shy.
Correct.
Pero now, you can really see her na leading the team and leading the squad for mga, especially on one games.
Right. Ito, pasadahan lang natin. Finally, for the middle blocker position, we have Mika Reyes, who played so well this week. Z, go ahead.
That's right. Parang when I was checking out the statistics, the numbers, parang wow, this feels like UAAP during my college days again to see these names up on that list. So definitely, it's good to see Mika Reyes being back in her old form. Not just with the numbers, pati yung power niya eh. Parang nagkakaroon ng kakaibang level up itong si Mika Reyes. And to see also her thriving in an environment in the team of the PLDT, parang talagang it's exciting to watch what else can they bring into the hardcourt.
And finally, a few words lang siguro for Mosey dito kay Mika Reyes. How she played tremendous this week.
Well, when I did the game nila Mika the first time, she had 8 block points.
Woo!
So,
Yes.
in one game. So, she was just guarding the net perfectly. And siguro tama si Z that parang ang nice to see her back. Or even better, ako nga tingin ko Z better pa eh, diba?
Correct. Agree. And yun nga, kita mo si number 1 in blocking. So, it's such an exciting matchup and weeks to come for the PVL.
Right.
But I know ang dami pa nating gustong pag-usapan na teams and players, but that's all the time that we have tonight, Tita Mosey. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Tita Mosey.
Thank
All
you.
right, and that's all that we have for today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zihir Basho.
I'm Dip Dipianco, and this has been The Game.